Thank you very much, colleagues, for your questions and answers. Let me respond to the colleague from Nigeria. Firstly, there isn't any formal, I hope you can listen because I see somebody's disrupting and she has asked questions for us to answer. If you would like to confirm, we've checked with DECO, they do not have such correspondence. So there isn't anything formally communicated, nothing. So we have verified. Secondly, I don't think Minister Ntabeni needs to issue any apology, because when she stood and spoke as a minister, she was speaking on behalf of South Africans, giving feedback on some of the issues. Let's start with the issue of payments claiming. And her context was that you can't provide compensation when a person cannot provide legal basis of acquiring the assets. That was what she said. No legal basis of acquiring of assets. Actually, I'm responsible as the minister for 2 entities in justice that actually recover assets as proceeds of crime. If you are here in the country illegally and you've acquired assets, those are classified under proceeds of crime, because in terms of a legal standing, you shouldn't have. So they fall under asset forfeiture unit, and they go into CARA. We use that money to actually fight crime and support victims in this country. It's within our laws. So what we stand and speak on as ministers is on the basis of South African laws.
But what she said wasn't true. Sorry.
Maybe
No. My dear, one thing, what is going to help us first is respect for each other. Respect for the office that we occupy, because we are ministers of the state. I don't think there's any South African journalist or any South African citizen that will disrespect your sitting minister or a government official. It's not done, and it must never be done. So I thought I should literally say that. And I deliberately took this opportunity to clarify as the chair of the IMC, because the work that we do, it's in multifaceted approach. One, in terms of law enforcement, in terms of fighting crime and corruption. Fortunately, I'm also the chair of JCPS, which is a crime justice cluster that involves all other departments. So I want to reiterate as South African government that currently we do not have, once we have a legal basis or a document that is submitted to us, we'll definitely appropriately respond to anyone. But I want to urge, sitting here, since that you are saying you flew here, that it doesn't help for all countries to attack South Africa unwarranted. We will have to defend ourselves as a country and defend South Africans as their elected representatives. We have that obligation as ministers. So we want to urge, as I said, if you remember our first, I don't know if you've started to follow us, our first media briefing on the 14th, we reflected that in our Lindela repatriation center, we gave a number of Nigerian nationals that the embassy was not confirming their departure, because they've been sitting there for more months after completing sentences in our prison. It's a record, and we want to appreciate the embassy for responding after our visit to Lindela. Because after that, there were 2 countries that we raised as a concern, and that was raised through DECO, formally in writing previously, and we then announced that we've got this number of nationals. There were 2 countries that we're battling with, that they were not arriving at Lindela, because for us to be able to deport them, those individuals, after their sentences, is that their country of origin must confirm their nationality. And we were not getting cooperation in that regard. So we want to appreciate that that cooperation we have received, and we are continuing with the deportation. And all other matters will be dealt with through diplomatic channel. Minister Lamola, as our chief diplomat, will be able to engage with his counterpart, the embassy, on any other matter. Should there be a complaint from the Nigerian government against South Africa, we will be gladly to respond through the appropriate channel. I do not think that the SPET are helpful to the African continent, nor our bilateral relations. So that's what I want to say in that regard. Then in relation, I think Minister of Police has responded to the issue of arrests. I'm not responsible in terms of the law for where people, because when people have been killed, the round will be opened again. How we conduct our media briefings is that we open the round, everybody asks, then answers. Please don't be disruptive to our media briefing. There's procedure that the chair does. No, they will call for the hand when I'm done. I'm going to appeal to you again to respect me as the Minister of the Republic of South Africa. Please. You are here to interact with us. Please, we are appealing to you. So, the chair of the session will call another round of questions where you can take your more questions. We are currently answering. Now, when you disrupt us while we are answering your question, it's not helpful at all. And I want to reiterate, we appeal because South Africa has not, and it's not actually in this point. Any attacks or anything has not been done, sanctioned by this government. Secondly, is that when anyone has been killed, whether they are South Africans or non-South Africans, the police does investigation. We actually have a very strong justice system where investigations are done, where people are arrested, and therefore people then are prosecuted and do serve sentences. Our judiciary in this country is independent, doesn't get influenced by politicians, doesn't get influenced by those who have power or even money. So you can be rest assured when matters appear before our judiciary, they're evaluated and they are dealt with independently and objectively, and irrespective of anyone, of their country of origin or their nationality. We deal with those. And secondly, is that anyone who commits crime, that's what we emphasize, law enforcement management in this country has to be respected across. Now, those individuals, the Embassy of Nigeria does know if they are requesting for updates, they are able to submit through DECO and request for those updates through the Minister of DECO to the Minister of Police. And if that matter is in a court, then I would provide update with the prosecuting authority. Now, with all the matters that we have provided for, we were asked by Minister of Lamola, who received from many countries about incidences, in some instances, incidences that never happened. For example, there was a case that somebody has been killed on the 30th of June. And we went out as the South African government to confirm that the 30th of June, we had no fatality. We had to issue a statement. So that's why we are urging that let's utilize the correct channels to be able to deal with information, verification, updates of incidences that we want reports on. And we'll do the same because even ourselves do the same in that regard. So that's the issue. On the issues Lindile asked about fundings, Lindile, what we have taken as a decision as the IMC is that the departments must source money from their own budgets. The IMC doesn't look at the budget. Currently, where we are going to have to engage in a budget conversation, it's with regards to the borderline program that I spoke about. But the Minister of Home Affairs and the Minister of Public Works will be able to share individually For example, I would share in terms of whether we've had additional costs that relates to the courts, and how we've been able to fund that. And the Minister of Home Affairs will share how they've been able to fund. But once we are done overall, because in terms of some of these things is work in progress. So we don't want to be giving to say this department has said to us, this is amount, and tomorrow you find that money is different. So we want to do major work, and then we'll be able to. With regards to the TRPC, once we shut it down, then we'll say what it cost us to run that center overall. I hope that can be accepted in terms of the work. Maybe just to add to Minister of Police matter with the Vigilante group. We did get complaints as members of the IMC about people who were moving at night to do door-to-door. Out of that, an intervention was done requesting, that's what I spoke about, the meeting with the CPF. Because remember, as IMC, we might not be everywhere. So what we did then, we asked that the Department of Subs deals with this. And out of that, the minister then convened meetings. You'd remember, in every community where there's a police station, the police station has community policing forum. And that is a mechanism that we wanted to use, or we have identified to use, to monitor where these activities are, so that they can deposit them directly to the operations in terms of the prof joints and the net joints for action to be taken. We've noted, as Minister says, we've noted these complaints about the police company. We have addressed it with net joints to ensure that work is being done in that regard. We'll go back again, following the feedback that we are getting. As we are saying, it's raised by the colleague from Al Jazeera and many of you. It's work in progress, but we are requesting that let's work together, because the IMC will not be everywhere. Police officers, somebody asked, where do we report police officers? IPIT is there as an institution that oversight the work of the police. Where there's complaints about police, we lodge them with IPIT. That's the appropriate process of conduct of a police and all that. But we're requesting partnership in this regard with communities, with ourselves, and the Communities Policing Forum, where you would be able to report to us and deposit this information so that we can act. It would be good when it happens that you tell us immediately so that we can send people to go and intervene in that area. And also if there are police that are found to be doing wrong things, so that themselves can be brought to account. Thanks, Chairperson of the session.